Son of the well-known philosopher Javier Marías, disciple of Ortega y Gasset, Javier Marías is considered one of the greatest contemporary Spanish writers. Author of 17 novels, translator and essayist, his books, translated into more than 46 languages and 59 countries, have sold more than 8 million copies, winning the hearts of readers with their ironic yet reflective tone. In addition to having received countless literary awards and having been nominated several times for the Nobel Prize for Literature, in 2006 he was made a member of the Real Academia Española and a few years later an international member of the Royal Society of Literature. Javier Marías was born in Madrid in 1951 during Franco's dictatorship, which was established in Spain in 1939 and lasted until his death in 1975. Due to his deep love for literature and poetry and his desire to continue reading what he liked, he began to devote himself to writing when he was only 11 years old, and not yet 20 he published his very first novel, The Dominions of the Wolf, thanks to the help of the established Spanish writer Juan Benet, one of his dearest friends. This work opened a brilliant narrative production characterized by a unique and personal style and a constant exploration of human feelings, with frequent references to European literature. The last article written by Marías for his famous weekly column, published after his death to celebrate his long collaboration with El País, is an authentic homage to translation. It recounts his personal experience as a translator and collects his reflections on this activity, defined by the author himself as one of the most important jobs in the world. One of his most important accomplishments was being made a member of the Real Academia in 2006. 2 years later, he delivered a particularly interesting speech, Sobre la dificultad de contar, in which he considered the figure of the novelist, the puerility of his profession, and the particular form of truth included in the genre of fiction. According to Javier Marías, in fact, it is only possible to recount in full what has never happened, given the complex nature of reality and the tendency of language to alter facts. So it is the author of fiction who is the only one who can carry out such an undertaking. In his speech, Marías mentioned several times the misery and the splendor of translation by Ortega y Gasset, which collects the philosopher's reflections on the activity of translation. Influenced in particular by the thought of Schopenhauer, Benjamin, and Schleiermacher, it is about some of the main issues addressed by translation theorists throughout history, including the impossibility of translation and the relationship between language and thought. According to Gasset, writing well implies a good dose of courage, since it requires a subversion of the prescribed use of language and its rules. Such an act of rebellion, in his opinion, cannot be carried out by the translator, who, being a pusillanimous person, is unable to contravene grammar, ending up betraying the translated writer. Lastly, Ortega states that translation should not be considered as a duplication of the original text, but as a literary genre in itself, and that a good translator should be faithful to the original text and put this before formal elegance and ease of reading, while aiming at bringing the reader closer to the source culture and not the other way around.